Hola, my lovelies. It's me, author Alexandria Infante, and I'm back for some more series breakdown. So, now, I told you I am a cross-genre author. So, I also write two contemporary romance series. Excuse me. One is a dark romance, and the other is a suspense romance. Now, the dark romance is called the Concilium crime syndicate. And what it is, it's warring factions of crime syndicates with three young bloods basically wanting to take over the Concilium. The Concilium is the governing body of all of these crime syndicates. And each year they induct new princes and new kings. So basically, whoever territory has done the best and has made the most money within the year before, the next year, they are crowned prince. So now there is a hierarchy, like if you were royalty in these syndicates. And so Demetrius, Bramelin, and Oslo are set to become princes. The problem is Demetrius, Oslo, and Bramelin are like, we tired of this ish. This needs to be run by new blood. And so Bram, and Oz decide, yeah, we need to just get rid of the Concilium. Now, in this series, there is what's called a blood tie. And a blood tie is if you're warring with another syndicate and they've done something to you. You don't need to retaliate by pew-pews. You can call a blood tie. And a blood tie means that basically whatever you did, this person that you did it to under the Concilium syndicate can say, I want a blood tie against that, blah, 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 blah. So in the series, these men decide to use these blood ties against females. So in book one, Selina Escobar Delgado, her father is Gabriel Escobar Delgado, and he is one of the Latin kings, and he basically runs ish for New York City. She never wanted to have anything to do with him because of what he was doing. And so by the time she turned 20, he got hooked up and did some serious time, and she was like, okay, I can run now. And so she ran. She put herself through school. She became a lawyer. She has no ties with him. She even changed her name to her mother's maiden name because she didn't want that tie. Her mom passes when she's 16. So at that time, when her mom passed, she pretty much set herself up to be like the good girl, Selina. The moms of the syndicate, other kids are like, oh, Selina's such a darling. She's such a beautiful girl. They all love her. But when he got hooked up, she was like, I'm getting ghosts. And so she ran, and she's never looked back. She would see them watching her every now and then, but they never said anything to her. They let her live her life because Gabe, her father, was hooked up. Gabe gets out. He still leaves her alone because he's like, okay, she got away from it. I'm going to leave her alone. Now he has other children. He has two other girls. And so he focuses his syndicate family around those two girls, around the new wife, around all that stuff. And he leaves Selina alone. Anyway, he does some ish to Demetrius Barskova. And he is now prince, like one of the top men for the Bratva syndicate. And so Demetrius is pissed. And he's like, I'm taking a blood tie. I'm blood tying Selina. And he's like, no, Selina's not with this. She's never, she's a good girl. She never da. And he's like, yeah, whatever. So he calls his blood tie against Selina. Now, Selina, although she grew up in this life, she knows how to survive. She's a mean, what she needs to be. Now she's blood tied to this dude. And now she pretty much has to survive. And each one of these girls belong to the Delgado Escobar syndicate through family members. The only person who's actually in the syndicate is Manuela, and that's only because her mom decided that she was so church happy going, and then her sister became a nun, so she was pretty much left out there by herself, and so she had to deal with the syndicate, and so that's this series. It is a dark, and when I say dark, I mean violence, situations, but there's also love stories in here. So between this couple who learn to love, who basically fall in love with each other, even though everything around them is jacked up, and these guys are trying to work themselves up to power, there's still a love story in here, even though it's dark. So there are some elements in it that might be, you know, like jarring for sensitive readers. So just make sure you remember that. But it is a dark romance crime syndicate. Then, who done it on a mystery level? This is the Grave Reviews series. It is a police detective series, and each of these police officers or police detectives are from different parts of the world. And Hannah, which begins the first book, she is a book reviewer, and she reviews indies, she reviews like mainstream authors, all that stuff. And she has a big mouth, and she talks a lot of trash. And when she reads, she works for the New York Times. She is one of their reviewers, and her editor Jordy, they've been best friends since like 6th grade. Jordy's always telling her, "Girl, your mouth is too big. You need to stop blah blah blah." And he's like, "You'll get us all killed." Well, because her mouth is so big, someone takes issue with what she said. And so now this book has, there's 3 books in this series so far. This series has 4 books in it so far. And it's each one is a different character as well. But all of these people are still involved. So once you meet Hannah, and then you go on to Megan, Hannah's still in there. Hannah and O'Malley, because they began the series. So that's how I write my series. Whoever began the series is in every book. It's just that now you're getting different POVs, because whatever's the arc of this story, whatever has to happen, all these people have to be involved. So that's how I write the paranormal as well as the regular, contemporary and dark romance series. So this would be technically considered a dark romance as well, because of the fact that there is violence, there is pew-pews, there's all kind of stuff, there's unaliving, because it is a crime, I guess, like mystery whodunit, because you have to figure out what's going on. And so the premise for this series is see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, walk no evil path. So I'm using the Japanese version of it. And basically, Hannah is like I said, a book reviewer, and someone's taken issue, and now whatever this issue is has to do with all 5 of these characters, because they all either went to high school together, they went to college together, they went into the journalistic field, whether Jeremy is a photojournalist, Coco is an archaeologist. They all had to take this one professor, Dr. Hiram, and he taught political law, he taught international law, he taught all of the things that these characters went into those fields. They all took this class because he taught those subjects. And so whatever it is that happened, all of these people were in this class, and it happened in that class. And so whoever's taking issue with them, he wants to knock them all off. So that's what this is. And so it is a police detective series, basically. And the first book is Grave Reviews, because she started the whole thing with her big mouth. So these are both at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com, and they are written under Alexandria Infante. So check them out. You might like them. So suspense and dark romance. So this is like dark romance suspense, because the unaliving and serial killer K, all that. And then this is dark romance because it's crime syndicates and pew-pews and just a bunch of stuff.